Hey guys, this is LJ with Groomers Talk. So we're gonna get down and dirty with Sam from Pedigree today, and there's lots of things in this that I've learned, but I hope that you guys get to learn a lot from it, not only about Pedigree itself, but also about what we've done. Obviously, we all travel, which is why this part of the video here is really bad, so I do apologize. But, please join us, and if you guys are able to hang out throughout the entire thing, there's a special code that will be given to all of you guys that you guys can use to save you some money. So, join us for this podcast. This is Groomers Talk.
Hey there! Have you checked out Naturally Inspirational yet? They offer some amazing products for both you and your pets. Their Dandelion Salve is a total game changer. It's perfect for easing aches, pains, bumps, and bruises. Plus, it's a natural healer for your dog's cuts, a moisturizer for their pads and nose, and can speed up wound healing by 50%. I use it for myself, my family, and all the animals in our care, and it's truly worked wonders. Don't miss out. Head to their website to grab your bottle today. And when you use the code GROOMERSTALK25, you'll get 20% off your first bottle. Get yours now and experience the difference at naturallyinspirational.biz.
Hey guys, it's LJ over here with Groomers Talk again. We happen to have another special guest on here today. His name is Sam. He is actually the entrepreneur of Pedigree. So he is going to be on here with us. We appreciate you being on with us today, Sam.
Yeah, hey, great to be here. Appreciate you having me. Like to correct something off the bat. I have been with Pedigree for 14 years now, but I am not the entrepreneur or owner. But like to say that I've definitely seen it all and been there for it all. So,
and this whole time I thought you were the man.
Nope. Just in a lot of places, the face. I attend all the shows, definitely answered the phones. If you've called, you've probably talked to me or my co-part Linda, but I do not own it. Best part, give you a little history, Pedigree's been around for 30 years. It was initially started by a husband and wife team in Cumming, Georgia, and the current owner, Mr. Rhodes, purchased it back in 2011. And it's been also a family-owned company since then. It's now a father, son, and daughter team. So you've got the Rhodes family and then employees there. But we are one of the few remaining companies in our lovely industry that is still family-owned as a full-line distributor. So happy to be here, proud to be here. Appreciate you talking to me.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. Trust me. I've seen you all over the map of at least the U.S. anyways, and you're still top dog to me. So
I appreciate that.
So and your wife's the groomer, right?
My wife Casey, we got married earlier this year, but we've been together 6-7 years now. She is a groomer. She owns a shop here in Indianapolis. She doesn't work for Pedigree directly, but she helps us out with all the shows. She's fantastic. She has a shop here that has, I think they're at 9 groomers right now. So they're quite busy doing that, boarding and daycare. It's details in McCordsville, Indiana. So I'm sure a lot of you have met her. She's definitely my better half.
Yeah, she's extremely outgoing.
For sure.
And she's probably your tester for some of your products you guys have there.
She and her grooming manager, Savannah Taylor, who recently took first place at All-American in one of the competitions. It's late. I'm tired. She does a lot of our testing there in the shop with their groomers. We definitely try to get as much feedback from groomers as we can before we launch a product or bring a new product to market.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, obviously, Pedigree has been basically a distributor of several different brands and products over the years.
Yep.
But then now you guys have also got your own, if that's correct?
We do, yep. So in 2012, we launched the Pedigree product. It's been wildly successful. We did, through COVID, have some issues with raw materials and the supply chain. And had to make some changes, but we feel like we really improved the product. All the 16-to-1s went to 32-to-1 dilution rate. Every product has been very well taken by the market. we've had a lot of success with it, and I'm happy that people like it. We wanted to make a product for groomers that we had tested with groomers and gotten feedback from groomers. We have the Love Potion scissoring finishing spray, which a lot of people know about. It smells so good. And then I like to take credit for it, but we call it premature evaporation, and that's our quick dry spray that also works really well and has I think, a funny name. But
that it's kind of a non-point name.
I mean, it's I have a dark sense of humor, and I think a lot of groomers do too. So, anything we can kind of do. We're about to launch and I'll give you the scoop, but we're about to launch a medicated conditioner and spray that it's called Quit Your Itchin', and it's going to be a chlorhexidine based product, but something similar to like a Show Season Soothe or a Best Shot MED. But something, just get in there. That's a basic. Pedigroom is a really good value line product. It's not $100 a gallon. It's for your day to day, every need customer. So if we can help them with something that's medicated that helps with those hot spots and the itches, that's what we want to do.
For sure. I've seen a lot of different companies out there, such as Best Shot, but then even they go with the silver, then there's the all natural.
Yeah.
It gives everyone at least a variety of what they can choose from, what they can kind of go with, because there's so much out there. But at least your focus is still on the dog itself. I know a lot of people that have created a product and it's just like, look, I just need to create something to make some money.
Right.
And so it's at least, still for the dog.
And to be honest, we focus on a product that's both good for the dog and good for the groomer. As I mentioned earlier, Savannah is one of our testers. Sorry, Savannah, for mentioning this, but she has psoriasis and is pretty sensitive to a lot of products. So I use that, and we use that as a pretty good test model, because if she can use it, chances are most groomers can use it. We want it to be good for the dog, but also for the person that's handling it all day long. Ingredient lists are important. Letting people know that the product they're using is safe and isn't just, being mass produced in a factory with 10,000 other things. It's important to us, having a quality product at a decent price.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, along with your own products, what are some of the other brands that you guys carry? And I believe, and I might call you out here, that you're also like the Melanie Newman, the person who brings them into the U.S.
Yeah, so we carry a full line of shampoos. A lot of people don't know, but Pedigree is a full line distributor, from your tiny little styptic powder all the way up to your tub and table. Anything you need in your groom shop. We aim for the professional groomer. We don't really advertise to the consumer. We won't stop someone from buying from us, but we really focus on quality products for the professional groomer. You mentioned Melanie Newman, and I'll get there, I promise. We carry Show Season, iGroom, Artero, Best Shot, Easy Groom, just a whole variety of different products. Definitely Groomer's Edge. A lot of that is quite popular. And we're always open to bringing on new brands that fit within our mold. But yeah, we are the Melanie Newman master distributor for the United States. So we import it straight from Australia. If you purchase it anywhere in the U.S., it came through us at some point. And it's been wildly successful. It's a really high quality product. And compared to some of its competitors, it is still very, I think, fairly priced for what it is. It's all natural. They use essential oils for the scent and for a lot of the topical issues, while maintaining, a pretty reasonable price point. I think the groomer and retail price right now is $69 and change for a 5 liter, and a 5 liter is, 1.35 times the size of a gallon. So, you're still within the range of most of your average shampoos at that price for a really all-natural product.
Right, for sure. And that says something, though, about your company, especially that you guys have built all this, distributorships, especially now that you're even carrying Melanie Newman to the point to where, you guys are that master distributor. That says something to the company, to the brand. Where do you guys see the future going for you guys?
I like to think that we're going to continue to grow like we have been, direct to groomers, but we also want to work with other distributors. In today's industry environment, there's been a lot of consolidation, especially with private equity. We, as a family-owned company, really want to support family-owned companies. We want to support smaller companies, people trying to break in, foreign brands that want to come in. If you've got a really good product, we want to support that, as long as it's fair to our customers. I know there's some new brands in the market that are trying to command, $100, $110 a gallon. And while I see that everything has a niche, I'm not sure that that's attainable for most groomers, while still, charging their customers a fair price. We're all about value, and that's, quality product at a fair price. We're not going to carry the cheapest things because they're not safe, or they're not, worth putting on your hands all day long. But we're also, not gonna serve the market that sells $110 a gallon, because you'd find me hard pressed to find something that's truly worth that amount that you can use day to day. A lot of what we see. A lot of things have gone, direct to groomer. Look at shears. You're seeing there at a show. We used to carry a wide variety of shears, but there's so many companies now that sell shears. We recognize that we offer some really great values. Our copperhead shears are made of VG10 steel, which is super strong, more than 440, and we offer a year of free sharpening in it. But a lot of consumers are going to go directly to the manufacturer. And I think we're going to see a lot of that, in our industry over the next 5-10 years. So we try to make sure we're a one-stop shop for most of the things you need.
I mean, that's a plus. It makes it a lot easier, especially for shipping. But I know so much of our industry, especially now, has been decimated as far as for, the small mom and pop, actually family owned businesses. So that's why it's very rare that you would still, be owned by family.
Yep.
We've had so many corporations, and I don't know if anyone else that's listening to this has ever heard about it, but corporations that have bought several big major brands such as iGroom, Christensen, Groomers Pro. I mean, they're like Double K. I mean, there's numerous accounts of people that have been bought up, just by these corporations, or it's gotten time to retire. And it's really put a strain on a lot of us, as far as for family owned. I mean, we can sit here and especially with my experience, we can look very big from the outside.
Yeah.
It's where we look like we're very well established. But once you get back to the office, I've had a lot of people come in and they're like, wow, this is really much smaller than what I thought. I says, well, we don't have the money at those big corporations.
Right.
So it really does value down to, and I feel that's one of the reasons why I'm starting the podcast. But I feel that it's also gotten to where it's having to let people know where the money's going, to who it's kind of going to, because, once the rest of us family go out, it's kind of done. So it's having to market ourselves and brand ourselves that, hey, we are still family owned. And, and to be honest, I didn't even know that Pedigree was actually family owned. So I even learned that today. But it's so sad to see our world diminishing after so many years of just collaboration with everybody.
Well, and you see it a lot of the shows too, shows have changed so much in the past 5 years, particularly since COVID. You've got a few distributors that come, but the shows are so expensive now. It can become very difficult to offer a product and a discount on site. But I hadn't heard about Double K, but Show Season was recently acquired by Simproco, who owns Groomer's Choice. They were recently acquired, I believe, by a private equity or investment group. And it just seems like every year, someone else comes in, some other investment group, and purchases part of our industry, which, it can have advantageous benefits. In theory, costs should go down, but I feel like at least at least when we make a decision, we think about our customers. Yes, we all have to make money, but at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure that things are still attainable for the everyday groomer, that are still safe for the everyday groomer, that are still of quality. And I'm not sure that you necessarily get those things when it comes to, a private equity firm that's more concerned with the bottom line. And that's a personal opinion. But I think that it's important for people to consider where they're buying. We offer free shipping on $99 or more. Shipping's probably our largest cost outside of product. And I hope that people recognize that, we all try to do our best. I can't beat Amazon today. But I like to think, I can reach most people in a day or two. We ship before, if you order before 3 o'clock, we get it out the same day. And if you have a problem, we're always there. And I hope that at least for the majority of my customers, they recognize that those are worth, checking me out as opposed to, just flipping open Amazon and looking at a gallon. And a lot of people don't realize that they're paying more on Amazon because, Amazon takes a fee, especially if you stock it with them. A lot of times prices are higher on one of the marketplaces, Amazon, Chewy, any of those, than if you work with a local distributor or a family-owned distributor.
That's one thing that I will say has been extremely hard since COVID, especially. And I know we're kind of getting off topic here,
yeah.
But it is what it is.
It's a podcast. Let's talk.
But, yeah. So, but with shipping costs, I mean, especially since COVID, that has skyrocketed. I've had so many people to where we'll do a special at a show, for instance, and they're like,
Yep.
"Well, can't you do better?" And it's like, no, this is as good as we can get. Well, I think you can do better. Well, you have to think about it, especially for a distributor such as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us here, we're only getting anywhere from, on a really bad day, 20%, but on a good day, 55. That's a very good day.
55.
And then yeah, that exactly. There's only like one or two I think I've ever had that from in the past.
Oh my God.
But yeah. But, having to get that and still have that margin, people don't understand, hey, you're sitting here with the travel, so now you got all the fuel into it. Then you got to pay everyone to be there.
Yep.
Then you got the price of the products. So, add up your total at the end of the show. So, obviously just pick a number, but then subtract all that. And then obviously subtract your office staff that had to help get you there. Subtract all of your other stuff that actually you had to use. By the end of it, especially when doing shows, your break even might make a little bit of money, but we're not making a ton of money. It's that cultural norm that is now making it all online, and we're all having to try to figure out that online.
Yeah.
But that's where we're losing our identity as the family-owned businesses that are still, just owned and not corporatized.
I'll tell you, the biggest thing that we try to do to be different is customer service. That if you have a problem, I'm going to take care of it. If Amazon or UPS loses your shipment, I'm just going to reship it. I'm not going to let you worry about a claim or dealing with them. We just take care of it. If you buy a tub or a table from me and a part goes out, I'm going to send you the part. And if you don't know how to install it, I'm going to pay someone to come out and fix it for you. That's just what you should do. But a lot of companies don't feel that way anymore. With regards to shows, I mean, when I started, it was great. Shows weren't expensive. Travel wasn't bad. Booth space was pretty reasonable. We could afford to bring in a bunch of shampoo and all the products and sell them for a discount. That was the deal. You came in, you got the cash and carry, everyone had a good time. But, now people don't realize what they want to charge me just to bring 1 gallon of shampoo in to a large show is the drayage is equivalent to about $7 a gallon just to bring it in.
Mm-hmm. And then, people who are listening to the podcast here, if you don't know what drayage is, it's basically if we ship something from our store and want to have it just shipped to the dock of the location, then they charge you that fee, which is called drayage fee.
And the drayage isn't even the shipping cost. It's for moving it from the dock to my booth because they won't let me do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to pay to ship it in. Then I have to pay to move it just from the dock to my booth. And then if I don't sell it, I got to pay again to get it out of my booth. So that's why you see, a lot with Pedigree, we stop bringing gallons of shampoo. We offer a buy four, get one special at every show, and we'll ship it to you for free. I'd rather give people a discount or a deal, and they don't have to haul it home. It's just waiting for them when they get home. Then,
Right.
Deal with all that at the show. A lot of people aren't happy with that. And I understand, because it's not what it used to be. But manufacturers themselves used to participate in a lot of show discounts. We don't get that. And booth space itself has gone up significantly. And then there's no guarantee. Attendance at shows wildly varies. Travel cost, it just, everything adds up. I don't know what your experiences were in 25. Some shows were great. Some shows were not so great.
It was hit and miss.
We're cutting back in 2026 to, I know for sure that we're going to do Tacoma, Atlanta, Peck in Ohio, and Hershey. Outside of that, I'm not sure, because it's gotten so expensive, and travel, sending employees, disruption, all the added stock, and then the uncertainty. I just don't know what to tell people. I wish it was better. I encourage people to go to a show and support the vendors that that care, because it's not just our livelihood, it's our industry. And, we do care. I care. I care for every one of my customers, and I want them to be successful. And we do everything we can. It's not just a business, it's a family. And I know that sounds cliche and corny, but, I saw a customer of mine that we just met at a show, and she's young, and she just finally opened her first shop. And Casey and I jumped for joy, because, you see the people you connect with and their success, and that's all we want for people.
I mean, that's just it. You'll never get that from a corporate, entity. With us, it's family owned. You'll always at least get that, right here. That one-on-one connection that you'll always be able to have. It's unreal. And it's even hard to have that through the social media world and everything else. Trying to have that connection, to be able to build on it, because everyone else on there is just another competition. Who's the best price? Who's cheaper? Who can ship it faster?
And I get that. As a consumer, I understand it. Every dollar is sacred. I don't know about anybody else, but if you call me, we have a price match policy. I'll beat them. I'll never be beat on price, but I'll always beat you on service. Now, do people make mistakes? Do companies make mistakes? Do things get misplaced, or do computers screw up? Things happen, and all we can ever do is try to make it right. And I've you see in the world of social media, people are very quick to get upset and go online. I would just ask people, when dealing with, especially with individuals that and companies that are a handful of people just doing their best, that they have a little patience and understanding. Because at the end of the day, I know at least at Pedigree, we'll always make it right. We'll always go above and beyond as much as we can.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's always the customer that we always care about. Like, we actually care.
I do. So, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, I had a customer that had a cage issue 3 hours away from here. The company Pedigree is based in Cartersville, Georgia. I personally work from home just east of Indianapolis, but I had a customer west of Chicago. They'd gotten some cages, and they were having issues with them. I drove to Chicago. I just went up there and took care of it, because that's what you do. If you can, you do. I've had customers at Hershey that purchased a table, and they had no way to get it home, but it was only an hour out of the way driving home, so sure, we'll swing by and drop it off. I mean, again, if we can take care of you, we want to take care of you. And I wish there was a better way to communicate that to people. The differences that you see between a big corporate distributor and a family-owned distributor.
Well, hopefully, obviously, with this conversation, hopefully that'll help enlighten a few people, because even just what they'll hear first, when it first comes out, it'll be saved, so they can always hear it and at least hear from us. But we'll kind of get back on topic here for the last couple minutes of what we were looking at.
Yeah, no problem.
So, obviously, you guys carry Artero and stuff like that. You guys also carry clippers and stuff from like Wall and Andis and so forth, right?
Yeah, Andis. I mean, again, we're a full line distributor, so equipment, tubs, tables, cages. They are our private label. We work with several manufacturers to build them to our specification. You see a lot of the similar looking tables and tubs on the market and cages. We do specify, the electronics on our tables are made by a company called Linac. They're out of Belgium and Germany. They're the same as you would get in like a hospital table, or a hospital bed. So we try to specify things that are of higher quality. And we sell it for the same price as everybody else. But it's the little things that make a difference, in my opinion. We do sell, we have our own line of blades that we just launched, the Pedigroom Plus blades, wide and standard sizes. We do carry Andis, Wall, Heiniger. I wish we carried Oster, but they've pretty much gone by the wayside, it seems. And then a huge variety of shampoo and other things. And we're always open to suggestions. If there's someone out there that's got a new brand or a new product that they're interested in launching, we will discuss anything with anybody. If we think it's a good idea and it tests well, no brand is too small or too large. We're happy to talk to anybody. And, I'll throw it out there. If you want to use code GT10 for Groomers Talk 10, we'll give you 10% off, your next order with Pedigree on our website. But check us out. I mean, we try really hard. We hit most of the country in 1 to 2 days with shipping. So, I'm always open to new brands. There's brands we've had before that we've kind of retired because they didn't move. If things have changed, again, we're always willing to consider it. Melanie Newman's great. If you haven't tried it, we do have little duo packs that you can get. We're always offering samples with an order. So if you ever want samples, you just put a little order note in there, send me something. Again, we just try to take care of people.
Oh. Now, with any of the, like clippers and tables and so forth, do you guys do any servicing or have a place that you tell them to go get their stuff serviced by?
So with clippers and things, we don't have a service center and we're not a sharpener. So I'll wholeheartedly admit, we recognize that is not our core market. I don't want to spread things too thin and us not be able to provide good service. We do recommend and have a list of sharpeners that we're happy to give to anyone that wants it, and then repair as well. I always recommend the manufacturer to start. Andis and Wall have gotten very good at their internal service centers, especially since COVID. They did a really bad job for a while, but they've gotten quite good at their turnaround with their internal service centers. And then we can also recommend, alternatives if you're out of warranty or you really need something. Unfortunately, and this could go on for a while, but a lot of the products in our industry have become disposable. I hate to tell people that, but if you've got a cordless clipper with 2 batteries and you've used it for 2 years and it's starting to, the batteries are wearing down or the motor's wearing down or it's just not behaving like it used to, it's almost become more economical to replace it than to spend the time and effort to get it repaired and to buy new batteries and all that sort of thing. It's disappointing.
Yeah,
I would prefer to repair anything than to replace it. But from a convenience standpoint, a delay standpoint, I guess it really depends on the person. Dryers, I'll tell you, I think one of the biggest secrets that a lot of people don't talk about in the industry is if you have a dryer that needs a repair and you can access the parts for it, but you don't feel comfortable changing them, most vacuum repair shops, and most people have a vacuum repair shop in their area, believe it or not, will do repairs on dryers. Because the vacuum is essentially a dryer in reverse. So
yeah, they literally just clip the motor,
exactly.
so it's just different
And they're
direction.
used to using, Amatec is one of the largest manufacturers of dryer motors and canines in our velocity dryers. And they're familiar with those. So if you don't have someone that can repair your dryer and you don't want to ship it off because shipping can be quite expensive on the larger dryers, check out your local vacuum repair shop. That's just a little tip, but it usually works out. Companies like Pedigree usually carry, your biggest thing is going to be brushes. If you have a brush dryer, you've got to change them at some point. It's a lot cheaper to change the brushes than it is to replace the dryer. But they're not, again, a lot of vacuum repair shops, family owned, which we love, and they can take care of it for you pretty quick. So you're back in business. But I guess if I had to give any other piece of advice here, and I know we're kind of running out of time, it's always have a backup. If you've got a clipper you love, maybe get a clipper that's a little less expensive that you don't necessarily love, but that you have as a backup, because this is your business. You can't just have one. Same with dryers. If you love your K9 2 or 3, but you really don't want to spend, that $400 or $500 on a second one, get yourself like a velocity dryer or something just to have around. Because the worst thing that can happen, especially as we're coming into this holiday season, is something fails and you're without. And then it's at least a day or two till you can get a replacement. And nobody wants to be in that position. That's a big deal. And I think a lot of people don't think about it. I'm not just trying to sell
They
a
don't.
product, but backups. Oh my God, backups. Backups for your blades, clippers, dryers. Silly things. If you have a tub, a backup faucet, a backup sprayer. The biggest thing that fails on tubs and tables, foot pedals. They don't fail that often, but 90% of the time if someone calls me and says my tub or my table isn't moving anymore, it's the foot pedals. They're not terribly expensive. They're about $20, $30. Is it worth $20 or $30 to have something you can just swap out and be done and carry on your day? I think so. But sorry if I went off on a tangent.
Oh, no, you're good. I mean, so many people, obviously I'm in the servicing side of it to
Yeah,
where I sharpen all the blades.
yeah,
And I have a lot of people that come up and be like, man, I know that you're picking up my stuff, on your run, but you're keeping it for like a week.
yeah.
I says, well, I'm returning it to you as well. And they're just like, well, I don't have enough stuff. And he says, well, look, I could sell you something. And, it's always that afterthought, because otherwise you got to ship it out. And then,
Yeah.
depending on how you ship it out, you're waiting there for, oh, good gosh, anywhere from, if you use U.S. Postal, you could be waiting 6 weeks for it to be delivered. And then actually the time for them to do it there and then be shipped back to you. It's a nightmare.
Well,
So
and
it's
I'm
always
sure,
that
as
backup.
a service person, you guys are busy. It's not that you're delaying things on purpose. It's just that it's the time it takes. I'll say, and I'm sorry to anybody that works for the Postal Service, we don't use the Postal Service. We only ship UPS, and we do use Amazon shipping. People didn't know Amazon is now behaving like a carrier in that they will deliver our packages, and they've been pretty reliable. Far better than the Postal Service. But just have a backup of everything that you can. If you own your business or you're a full-time groomer, yes, you've got a $300-$400 cordless clipper that you love, that you want to use every day. Have that $99 corded clipper backup. You love your buttercut blades or something that's pricier. Grab a 10 and a 30 from the Pedigree Plus line, just to throw in a drawer, because things happen, and while I believe my blades are just as good as theirs, you know, my 10s and 30s are only $20. So just cover yourself, protect yourself, and think about what happens if something goes wrong. I think that's probably one of the biggest things I hear, especially with, you know, those core items that you can't just go down to Walmart and buy. You know, your professional clipper, your professional dryer, those weird things, you know, you can't just buy a faucet for your tub at Home Depot. I mean, you might be able to, but then you're drilling holes in your tub and you're doing all sorts of funny things. They're not that expensive. If you have a second one and something goes wrong, you're much better off just having that right there on the shelf ready to go. But that's my thoughts on that.
Well, and that's service, why they can always get with you.
Send it to you for service or sharpening. You guys are always great.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Smith & Burton, creators of professional, natural grooming products from the heart of New Zealand. Inspired by the purity of nature and guided by the principles of science, Smith & Burton carefully craft every formula with your pet's well-being in mind. From nourishing shampoos to gentle conditioners, their products are made with thoughtfully chosen ingredients that not only protect and care for your pet's skin and coat, but also reflect a commitment to quality, sustainability, and love for animals. At Smith & Burton, it's about more than grooming. It's about giving your pets the care they truly deserve. That's why they bring you the natural touch. We invite you to discover the difference today at smithandburton.com. As a special thank you, you'll receive 20% off your first order, no matter the amount. Because caring for your pet should never wait. Choose the natural way with Smith & Burton.
No, we definitely try to be. So, and I guess while we're at the end of our podcast here, I'll break this into two parts. So obviously with Melanie Newman, you're the master distributor. Who is the other distributors that you guys work with? That way, so obviously people have got different options they can go
yeah,
with.
For sure. So master distributors, Groomers Mall sells Melanie Newman. Cascade on the West Coast sells Melanie Newman. Pet Store Direct sells Melanie Newman. And Pet Edge. Pet Edge also sells Melanie Newman. So there's quite a variety of options there for people that want to stock up. And Whitman's sells Melanie Newman. So, you know, we just want to support the industry when it comes to those types of products. Anybody that wants to become a distributor and that's in a similar position and, you know, is looking to purchase in those appropriate quantities is welcome to sell. Not that we want to cannibalize the market or take away from anybody, but to me, good products should get into the hands of people. So we try to make it fair for everybody and support everybody we can. So
For sure. So, and obviously, with any questions that people might have about any of your products, any of the ones that you guys obviously make, as well as any of them that are up and coming or that you carry, where would they go ask questions, find out stuff, and what's your website and stuff?
Sure. So our website is petagree.com. So that's pet, P-E-T, agree, A-G-R-E-E, no hyphen.com. You can always email us at info@pedigree.com, or you're welcome to send me an email, Harper, H-A-R-P-E-R, like my last name, at petagree.com. And our phone number is 800-734-4228. If you call between 8 and 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, you get a person. We don't have a phone tree or anything like that. You're going to get myself, Miss Linda, or Miss Mackenzie, and that's how we are.
Now, just out of curiosity, do you guys have a social media for the company?
We do. You can get us on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. They're all Go Pedigrees. So facebook.com/Go Pedigree and the other ones. Love you to follow us, check us out, and leave a comment.
For sure. Well, hey, I appreciate you being on here so much. Obviously, we went a little bit different on topic.
Yeah.
Would love to absolutely have you on here again. But if anyone has any questions, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to any of his contacts, or you can contact through me at Groomers Talk, through our Facebook, or right through the podcast itself. So, again, appreciate you coming on, Sam, and we will see you guys next time on Groomers Talk.
Pleasure to talk to you, Lane. Thanks for having me.
And thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us for this entire podcast. Please make sure you go at Pedigree and actually use that code. Plus, if you hit that minimum, that $99 minimum, you get free shipping. So why not? It saves you a ton of money. Why not use it? But I really hope that this podcast is not only, one, giving you a great deal, but two, that it has led you to giving some insight to what we do for you guys. All of us people that go to the trade shows for you guys, no matter corporate or family, it's a lot of work. It just is. We love being here for you guys, and obviously, no matter family business, small business, or corporate, we do love being here for you guys. We want to do everything we possibly can. So please keep supporting us at the shows, online, through the sales. If you like this podcast, please like and share it with a friend, as well as you can find me on Facebook. You can follow me, like me, and on Instagram and TikTok as well. If you are part of my page on there, you will get all the newest updates and even some special codes before everyone else does, so you can take part in some of the special sales. But hey guys, hopefully you guys join me for the show update on Wednesday and then prayer and meditation on Friday. This is Groomers Talk.